Hey there, my name is Jonathan Kutz. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad you're watching this. A big welcome to MCC students and perhaps all my dual credit students. Um, this is the history of American music. As you can see, I'm in my office, quite cluttered right now, even though it's the pre-semester that I'm making this. I'm a drummer, been a drummer since 1973. Been a professional musician since the 1980s, and I just love music. I've come to love music of all shapes and styles. I play around town with a band called Sloppy Joe. I also play in this kind of a metal band, a 80s hair metal band, and I also play some dates with Ted Nugent here and there, famous 70s rocker. Um, the purpose of this video is to get you started, to get you on the blackboard, to get you into week one, and to get you on a routine. This whole class will be a routine. It's pretty much the same thing each week, but even though the information is a little bit different. So let me get you logged in here. Go to, if you get mclennan.edu and click on the blackboard. You will have to log in a user ID and a password, first two initials, and your MCC student number, usually 7 digits. And then your password is your 6-digit date of birth. Any problems with this, contact me, and I'll get you in touch with the tech folks who can straighten out if there's any issues with that. That's all good. Find your section number. I'm just going to go with number 1 here, and it's going to take us into Blackboard proper. And what we'll see here is announcements, syllabus, assignments, discussions, and grades. This is the bulk of what we use on Blackboard. By the way, if my video stops working down here, I'm just going to keep going, and so take a good look. I'm your teacher. It'll keep going, but the video will stop. I'm having trouble today, so don't know what the issue is. Announcement. The announcement page is the first page you'll see. It's you'll see Unit 1. When we get into Unit 2, you'll see Unit 2 pop up. I have these all set to come up the beginning of each week. We're working on a week-by-week syllabus, and you'll see this when I get on down to assignments. So announcements, an overview of what we're doing every week. The syllabus, you need to read this to take our orientation quiz due this week, so you know the rules of the game. Assignments, basically broken up into 15 weeks, calling them units, and you can kind of see all the different stuff we're going to cover. Jazz, Mississippi and Chicago blues. We go and take a tour of New Orleans and Chicago. Birth of country music, the 1920s to 1950s. Story of Latin music from the 1930s to about 1970. A tour of Nashville and the history of women in country music. The producers take control and basically take control of rock music, which will lead us into our midterm. And Art of Recording, this is the sound breaking series from PBS that we'll be watching. How the recording studio works, how people make sounds in the recording studio. Great singers and all the electronic instruments, outlaw country, and the beat behind music. Being a drummer, this is one of my favorites. And a tour of musical communities of New York City and Washington, D.C., the effects of music video on the music industry in the 80s, and how we listen to music. And it's going to go through the cylinders to 78s to 45s to albums to 8-tracks and cassettes and CDs, and now we're in the digital age. Austin, the communities of Austin and Seattle, and 2 weeks of hip-hop study, and our final test. It's all here in the assignments folder. Discussions are each week we will have a discussion board, and you'll see 15, each one for each unit. There's 2 for units 13, and more on that in a little bit. And your grades will be kept here. You won't see anything here because I'm not in student view. And that's it. I mean, these are really your guideposts here to get around. Blackboard. Let's go back to assignments and look at number 1 so I can get you going in week 1 here. They're always, for most, about the first 5 weeks, there's a video overview. Might get some more of those in there. I plan on it. I hope it works, that I can get that accomplished this semester. You're going to have to do for week 1. This week, it's a short week. I'm having this, going to get you into the class early, but really the start day is Wednesday officially. I'll email this link to you Sunday night so you can get started on it early. We want you to basically 3 things. We want you to read orientation, which is read the syllabus really well. Take a quiz on orientation. This quiz is, I believe you can take it as many times as you like. I see my video quit working, so you won't get to see my great facial expressions. That's orientation. Click open this study guide and fill in the blanks as you watch the history of jazz. And the history of jazz is this is on YouTube. It's 45 minutes, 46 minutes long. The great Billy Taylor, great jazz pianist, is going to take you through about 15 periods of jazz. When you feel that you've completed it and you've assumed all the info, take the history of jazz quiz. 15 minutes to answer 10 questions. I see I've got something to do here, and that is to I think it's not set for 10 questions. It's got 20 questions on there. So bug number 1 to fix. And last but not least, there is a discussion board to take. My Musical Life. You're going to read the directions. You've done it, you did it, and these are also in the syllabus, so just reviewing, you're going to read this stuff over and over again of how to do it. Here's mine. I did an example for you, My Musical Life, where I came from and how long I've been playing and how long at MCC and blah, 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 blah. Me playing with Ted Nugent at the Dallas Guitar Festival last year. How cool is that? Your teacher has rubbed elbows with rock stars. Woohoo! And go back. That's a discussion board, and that's it for week 1. You're done. You have an orientation to do. You've got this is kind of a good way to get our feet wet in what we're going to do all semester, and then doing a discussion board about yourself. You're going to respond to 3 other students as well. So make a main post. Let me show you one thing also. In the discussion board, you read the directions, you read mine, you go, oh cool, I want to make my own post. Well, go up here, create thread, and write My Musical Life, and then write your story, and then hit submit. Kablam, and mine won't go because I didn't write anything, so I'm canceling it. And then yours will show up in here. Make sure it shows up. If it hasn't, there's a problem. It needs to be, and you'll see, we'll have lots of 20, 30 people post, and we'll see their name, and we'll see My Musical Life. So that's basically it for week 1. If you look in week 2, it's all the same setup, except now we have 2 videos to watch, Blues America 1 and Blues America 2, and a discussion board assignment. We're going to go to YouTube. We're going to pick somebody, and we're going to post it. You're going to show me a YouTube video, and you can copy the address, put it in. I used a button here on I could show you quick down here on mashups. Go to YouTube, and then you can find the video you want and post it in, and you'll get a little screenshot like what I have here. And I took a little bio from Wikipedia, and I told you a little bit about why I picked this, because my favorite one of my favorite rock bands, Led Zeppelin, and my favorite drummer, John Bonham, plays this song called When the Levee Breaks. Well, turns out that they did a remake of an old 1930s blues song. And there's hundreds of songs like this, right? I want you to discover some of them. That's my goal, to relate how the past has influenced the very beginnings of the history. The 30s had influenced the 60s, 70s, and so on and so on. And that's it. Most quizzes are, all quizzes are available to take 2 times, except the midterm and the final, only available 1 time. So take advantage of that. You should have good grades because you get 2 shots at each and every quiz. Let me look at the syllabus a little bit. And instructor info, this is how you can contact me. What I want you to get out of this, read these objectives. It took me a while to think of all these, and read this stuff carefully. The brief overview. There's no book, nothing to buy except you're going to stream or buy or stream DVDs. The choice is yours. The due dates are all on a weekly basis. I have 2 makeup periods, one during spring break and one during week 14 of the semester. I've basically chopped the semester up into 2 halves. Makeup week, week 7, makeup week 14 and 15. A little bit of cursing in the Hip Hop Evolution series with these hip hop artists. Sometimes my rock artists too. Not a whole lot, but enough that I want you to know, and I don't want parents or my boss calling me and yelling at me about. I'm telling you about this. If you have an issue with any kind of cursing, I apologize. I don't curse while I'm teaching you, but some of our musical idols do. So if that's okay, you're good to go. Netflix for the Hip Hop Evolution. I need you to read this. I'm at 12 minutes here, and I could bore you and read this for you, but I'm not going to. How the discussion board works. This is important. There's some word requirements per post, and what I'm going to accept, what I'm not going to accept. Please read this. I even made this rubric. This is a hair ridiculous, but it's there. I mean, if you're not going to do the work or a part of it, don't expect full points, right? And that's what this is basically telling you. There's a running total and a weighted total. Know what those mean. There's a question in orientation about it. Some people would think their final grade is the running total. They only took 2 tests the whole semester, and they have a 100 average, and they think they have a 100 average, but they missed 40 other quizzes, right? Don't be delusional. The weighted total is basically from these percentages right up here, and the quizzes are 50%, discussion is 30, right? And so that's weighted in the grade book already. So it's all there, all figured out. And as time moves on, I'll turn off the running total, and the weighted total will be your final grade. The running total on week 1 and 2 is a great way to see what's my average with these 6 things that I've done, right? And that'll tell you exactly how you're doing. The weighted total is all 60 grades all combined into a grade, and you have like a 2% in the class. It's because everything counts as a 0 until you take it, right? So not too hard to understand. Testing procedure. This is important too. You get 2, basically the most important one is you get 2 shots at each quiz, except the midterm and the final. Those are only 1. Taking this on your phone may be a hair of a problem. Some people it works, some people it doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Don't get mad at me if your phone doesn't work. All right? You need a computer. We've got computer labs here at MCC. I'm sure if you're at a high school, you can also use computers there. Basically, don't copy anything without crediting your sources. And of course, read your ADA statements. If you have any problems, you need more time for tests, you really need to go through the proper channels at MCC so I know. You can't just say, hey, I've got this or that problem. It needs to be documented through our folks here at school, and they'll let me know. And then you can have more time on tests or whatever it is that you require. Really lenient about that. Want to help anybody who needs it. So please take advantage of that. That's the syllabus. That's week 1 assignments. The orientation quiz, it needs to be done by Thursday. Get her done. I need you to know that you understand what you've got yourself into. It's not a lot. It's easy. And that's it. I'm here if you need me. Please contact me if I can help you. See you soon.